Have you ever delved into the mysteries of the universe, the fabric of reality, or the meaning of existence? Among the cryptic scripts and mystical manuscripts that have aimed to unravel these profound riddles, one compilation stands out: the Seth books. Not the brainchild of a philosopher or a scientist, these books are the creation of an everyday woman, a relatively unknown author of that time named Jane Roberts from upstate New York. In the twilight of the 1960s, Jane, in tandem with her husband Robert, started receiving messages from an entity called Seth after a sudden out-of-body experience that piqued Jane's interest and sparked her exploration into the psychic potential. They sketched out a plan for a book that Jane would write and embarked on a series of experiments involving hypnosis and using a Ouija board, notably including a past life regression hypnosis experiment on Robert. During one intense session, Robert began speaking as a young boy named Joe Williams, living in Maryland, a detail revealed when Jane probed. Remarkably, Seth, communicating through Jane while she was in a trance-like state, disclosed that Joe was father to 4 children, served as an Episcopal clergyman, and was raised by a mother named Josephine. Now here's a twist to make you ponder. Less than a year before coming across the Seth books, the author of Finding Journals of Immortals had been digging into his own family history. He had contacted his mother's brother, Uncle Robert Williams, after learning that he'd done ancestry DNA testing. Through a series of email exchanges, he discovered that his great-great-grandfather, who had been a clergyman fathering 4 children and lived in Maryland, had a mother named Josephine. The identical details are uncanny, aren't they? The book Jane and Robert were working on was eventually titled How to Develop Your ESP Power, The Coming of Seth. As detailed in the book, Jane and Robert established contact with an entity who introduced himself as Frank Withers, but preferred to be called Seth, defining himself as an energy personality essence no longer focused in physical matter. After several weeks of using the board and asking deep-seated questions, Jane realized she could hear the answers even before they were spelled out on the board. Over time, Jane began to speak aloud for Seth in a self-induced trance. Robert Butts, Jane's husband, assumed the task of transcribing the wealth of information flowing through Jane. Seth expressed his desire for them to pen books for him. These weren't aimless ramblings, but were intense insights into existence, reality, and the universe. Over the years, these transcripts evolved into the Seth books, a unique collection that has both fascinated and puzzled readers for decades. Born from the extraordinary experiences of an ordinary couple, these books continue to challenge our perception of reality. The Seth books, a riveting journey into the elusive, the enigmatic, and the extraordinary. Peeling back the layers of the Seth books, we find an intriguing thread that weaves through the fabric of its creation. A man named Robert Williams. Born in the early 1900s, Robert Williams Sr., the only son of Joseph Williams, brother of 3 sisters, found himself in a chance encounter in upstate New York. This meeting was not with a stranger, but with the father-in-law of his youngest daughter's second husband, a man intriguingly bearing a name that was a mirror image of his own, William Roberts. This uncanny encounter happened just before Robert Williams Sr.'s death in 2001, and a year before the author of Finding Journals of Immortals discovered the Seth books. Now fast forward a few years, following his move to California from Maryland where he'd been raised, a strange incident occurred that would further deepen the mystery. His 3-year-old niece, in the middle of a peaceful sleep, suddenly woke up, uttered the cryptic words, "It's time," and drifted back into slumber. Moments later, the family received a call that their beloved grandfather, Robert Williams, had passed away. It took the author another 19 years to unravel these connections with many more that had yet to come, and pen them down in 2019 and 2020. These writings unveiled more correlations between the life experiences of Jane Roberts, the Seth books, and his own lineage. And ironically, the Seth books he'd go on to find after writing his story, especially Seth Speaks and The Unknown Reality, would thoroughly explain to him his most mysterious encounters. It was as if he was there asking Seth the questions to explain his life story. Or rather, it were as if what Seth explained in the decades before his birth helped plan his experiences that were to come. The Seth books and their connection to Robert Williams continue to remain a fascinating enigma, leaving us to ponder the intertwined threads of fate, coincidence, and the extraordinary. As we delve deeper into the impact of the Seth books in the next part of our journey, we are reminded that reality is often stranger than fiction, and the mysteries of the universe are far from being fully unraveled. What if you discovered that the universe you inhabit is but one of countless realities? This profound question lies at the heart of the Seth books. Jane Roberts and Robert Butts, through their extraordinary work, introduced us to a universe far more complex and multi-layered than we could have ever imagined. They presented the concept of multiple realities, challenging our linear understanding of time and space. They proposed the notion that our belief systems are not mere abstract constructs, but powerful forces that shape our reality. This revolutionary idea has sparked a cultural shift, influencing countless individuals and transforming our outlook on metaphysics and spirituality. The Seth books, though shrouded in mystery and intrigue, have acted as a beacon of enlightenment in the dark. They have spurred philosophical debates, inspired academic research, and even breathed life into new spiritual movements. In their quest to understand the nature of existence, Jane and Robert have left us with an enduring legacy. What legacy do the Seth books leave behind, and how do they continue to shape our world? In the realm of spiritual and metaphysical exploration, the Seth books stand as a beacon, their influence seeping into every corner of contemporary spiritual thought and practice. Their teachings, wrapped in layers of complexity and mystery, continue to inspire readers, sparking curiosity, provoking thought, and challenging conventional wisdom about the nature of reality. Born out of an era of exploration and change, these books have endured, their messages resonating with generations of seekers. They've helped shape a world that's more open to the idea of multiple realities, of spiritual beings, of the power of the mind. They've nudged us to question, to ponder, to seek, and to understand. The Seth books, like a river, continue to flow, carving their path through the landscape of human consciousness, leaving behind a legacy that's both enduring and profound. As we continue to explore the mysteries of our existence, the Seth books remain a guiding light, illuminating the path to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the universe we inhabit.